I'm bored. Let's watch Nerdrotic. All right, so it's been brought to my attention that this clip here from Side Scrollers Podcast includes a shout out to me from Nerdrotic. Whether it be inadvertently or on purpose, it is literally one of my talking points, and I'm the only person that's been talking about this. So let's watch the clip, and then I'm going to explain why he is talking about me and why he is dead wrong.
First and foremost, you did not think this movie was going to perform very well, did you?
No, I did not.
No. And it hasn't, really.
He's talking about Captain America Brave New World. Just want to make that clear.
Has it?
No, it hasn't. No, it's I don't know where we're at now, but the Disney didn't know it was going to perform well. That's why they floated out a lie of a $180 million budget. And that's just an outright lie. Now, Disney does not have to tell the truth. You hear a lot of people say they have to tell the truth for their investors. Technically, yes.
Right.
But technically, it wouldn't be a lie if you said the budget for the film was $180 million if you're not specific.
And I'm going to stop you right there. I'm the only person I know recently, at least in the last month or so, that has really been pushing heavily this fact that Disney cannot legally lie about the budget. There's no skating around it. There's no sort of smoke and mirrors about it. That does not happen. There's a lot of legal reasons why Disney cannot lie about the budget. I am the only person that has been talking about this that I have seen anywhere. I've not seen video after video talking about this. But the problem is for these guys, this is one of their biggest grifts. This is one of the biggest grifts that they do to try and extract money and viewership from people here on YouTube, is they make up this concept that Disney, Warner Brothers, any of these companies out there can just make up numbers and go to these outlets and say, this is how much this costs, and it's okay, that it's not illegal. And it absolutely is. It's illegal in so many ways, and we're going to talk about all those here. But the reason why he's pushing back against this, and whether he heard me say it directly or someone in his orbit said, hey, these guys are saying that this is illegal, the only reason he's doing this is because he's going to start pushing back against this because he knows that it's true, but they are so afraid that if people like you out there found out that it is highly illegal for Disney to do and they could not do it, it would ruin their business model. It would ruin what these guys do. So they have to have you believe that Disney can arbitrarily make up numbers and lie about budgets for films without getting in any trouble whatsoever. And I'm going to assure you that is absolutely false. That is false. Every bit of money that goes into these movies, every person that puts a penny into these films, whether it be an investor or some sort of sponsorship or something like that, they want to know where their money is going. They want to know how they're getting their money back. There's a lot of things that happen in businesses that require you to be transparent about the funds that you're spending on a movie. So what he is talking about here is Captain America Brave New World. I believe it was in Variety or Hollywood Reporter. It was one of the trades. They announced that the budget had been confirmed at $180 million. These guys can't take that. They want to say the movie cost $300 million to make, not just advertise, but to make. They're saying they're floating around there's another like $150 million that went into the movie of invisible money. That these people just wrote blank checks to Disney and have no idea where their money was going because Disney can just lie about the budget. That's what they're trying to suggest is happening here. I want you guys to understand that is not how business works. Investors would not write blank checks to Disney and just allow them to go out like a credit card and run up funds for an inflated budget on a film. That's not going to happen. That's what producers are there for. They are there on set in meetings to make sure the production budget stays on task and that if it goes over, it is documented as going over. Why would Disney announce an overage in budgets for some movies but not all movies? The answer is they wouldn't. They wouldn't do that. There's lots of legal reasons. I'm just going to go over the legal reasons here, and then we're going to talk in more detail about my thoughts on all of this. So the first big one, if they lie about the budget, is an SEC violation, securities fraud. If Disney knowingly reports false financial information about a film's budget, it could be considered security fraud under U.S. law. The SEC requires publicly traded companies, and Disney is a publicly traded company, to provide accurate financial disclosures, and misrepresenting expenses could lead to penalties. That's just number one. That applies directly to what they're doing here. So if investors out there find out that they're reporting false information, it is literally an SEC violation. It's also tax fraud. If a company inflates or deflates a film's budget to improperly claim tax credits, deductions, or incentives, it could face tax fraud charges. Many film incentives require an accurate budget reporting, and misrepresentation could lead to audits, fines, or criminal charges. Let's run that back a little bit. Many film incentives require accurate film budget reporting, meaning that public numbers that come out, those kinds of things have to be accurate. Let's move on to the third reason why. Contractual fraud. If Disney secured discounts, rebates, or financial incentives from governments or vendors based on an inflated or deflated budget, they could be liable for fraud in the terms of breach of contract, meaning that they are breaching the contract with these folks when they're lying about these numbers. So those are the three big ones. Those are the ones where there's no way to get around that. If they released a budget of 180 million and the film actually cost 300 some million to make, not counting advertising, that is a massive problem. Massive problem. And as of right now, there's no proof of that other than trust me, bro. Well, actually, I believe that because they filmed in front of this ice cream store in Los Angeles, that had to cost $20 million. There's no way, right? And that they're getting this money out of thin air, everybody. So Disney is just walking around collecting money out of thin air. And then at the end of each quarter, when they report on their finances, that money just disappears and nobody knows where it went. Nobody knows who has it, who gave it. It just disappears. It's money that just vanishes out of thin air. And they've been doing this for years, and investors are just okay continuously giving money to this complete waste of space where it just disappears and they never have any return on it whatsoever. You guys have to understand how stupid these guys think you are. You have to understand that. Here's a couple more reasons. Since they're publicly traded, they could be in trouble for market manipulation. Misrepresenting finances to influence investor perception could be considered stock manipulation, which is illegal under federal law. So putting out these numbers, making it look like the movie is financially successful when it isn't, could manipulate the stock market and would cause a problem for investors because it would be false. But guess what? That's never happened for them. They've never put out a number undervaluing a movie in order to manipulate the market. None of these things that I've announced here, none of these things have applied to any of the deflated budgets for the movies. That has never happened. But you know what has happened? Walt Disney Company, with the Fox acquisition, after acquiring 21st Century Fox in 2019, a lawsuit emerged claiming that Fox executives had engaged in financial misrepresentation, including inflated production budget for movies like the Avatar sequels. Because you know why inflated budgets benefit the companies. If you invest money into a film and they go, hey, the budget for the film is 300 million, they can claim that the movie did not get returned. It didn't actually turn a profit. And thus they get to keep that money. They get to keep that money. It makes no sense for them to lie and devalue a project and then have to pay back investors in money that never changed hands. Lastly, there's this consumer protection false advertising thing here, right? Well, it's not as likely, but misrepresenting a budget and marketing materials to hype up a film could be considered deceptive advertising if it misleads the public. So in other words, they would be doing this thinking that the public is so stupid that they could hype them up with a fake budget. A budget that the vast majority of people don't listen to or look at or watch or any of that stuff because these guys are the only ones talking about it. They are lying to you. They think you are stupid. And anytime you believe them saying this, they get off the camera and they're like, got him again, got him, because they know better. They know better, and they think you don't. And therefore, they're going to keep saying this and keep pushing this lie because it's the only thing they have when a movie isn't fitting into their narrative. That's all they can do because they don't want a black Captain America, but they don't want to say they don't want a black Captain America because they realize that's not enough. So they have to have you believe that Disney is lying about the financial stuff that's happening with this movie, whether it be the budget or rebates or whatever. That's for another video. We could talk about rebates and advertising and all that. We'll save that for another video. But the bottom line is Disney has never, ever been taken to court for doing what they are accusing Disney of doing. There's no proof of it. There's no charges filed against them. They've never been taken to court for underrepresenting the budget of a movie. So these guys are just lying to you because they think you're stupid. And if you believe them, you are fucking stupid.